everybody okay? Okay, how are you doing on the material? Having a good time? Gentle stirrings within? Continuing the theme of direct enjoyment, yogis strive to sense the inner bliss, love, and light. And I'm adding the theme of light a lot today. The emotional devotee usually finds love and then bliss and then light. And the mental devotee and the will devotee often find bliss and light first, and then they find the love component. Depends on your nature which you're going to find first. A great concept now from this wonderful book of themes in yoga, which we're bringing over from India over the ocean, and it'll get here eventually, the Panchadasi. But it's just a wonderful thing to understand in terms of getting to know your own soul better. And it's the grand concept, a great concept called the stage light. There are some lights that just shine on the stage. They shine on it before the drama, during the drama, and after the drama. In other words, there are some lights, you just have them on and they're shining down, they're lighting the stage. Before the players come on, and here they come, and they do their whole thing, and it's an exciting time, and they reach this incredible climax, and we're all holding our breaths in the audience. Then it's over, and we got tears in our eyes, and we applaud, and the actors all go away to the party, and the stage light is on still, and everybody's gone. And if we could just sense this for a little bit, just sense a light shining on a stage. Then picture the actors coming on, doing a drama, going through the whole thing, rising to a climax, applause, leaving, and the light still is shining on the stage when everybody's gone. Before, during, and after the drama. Okay, so this leads to various conclusions. So let's just sense for a minute this truth. Just consider the reality of this stage light before, during, and after the drama. Just think of your own drama. You got the light shining on the stage, and just be aware of the light shining on the stage throughout the whole process. We'll do this for a couple of minutes just to let it sink in. Finishing up the drama, and sending everybody home, and the light remains on. This is a way to understand your soul. Your true self is like that stage light. It's on before your life, during your life, and after your life, after the events of your life. So we'll take it first a small part. Just for example, think of an event going on in your life that you've experienced recently, just various things going on. Just sense that, like a stage light, your soul was shining before this event, during the event, and after the event was over. Just think of light being there throughout the process, before, during, and after that event. Okay? So, we're getting into it now. So just think of your soul being like the stage light shining before the event you're thinking of, during it, and after. Just being aware of that. Take a couple minutes. Think about that. 3 minutes. Right? This gives great comfort to people. Let's say you're going through a difficult time. If you can remember your soul's light, just think of your soul shining on you before this thing happened, this challenge. Amazing to see. So let's talk serious Leela. The way to get going, if you wanted to think of your life as a Leela, is feel that the light of your soul, like a stage light, is shining on you all day long. Before you get up in the morning, and that you're just living in this light. That the light of your soul is just shining as you have breakfast, as you take out the garbage and get in the car and go off to work or whatever you do. And then as you go through the letters at the office and the appointments and the phone calls, just always aware of this light. And later on, you'll know it is true. You are living in the light of your soul. It's on all the time, and it's giving you the capacity called awareness. It is true. So that's the first way to get a sense of the Leela. Just sense that the soul or your inner self is shining on you all day long, all the time, before, during, and after every event. That's the way to get into the Leela. So I have no idea what you're going to do the next 5 minutes, whether you're going to just sit there or wander around or talk with friends. You can do anything you like. But the goal is to sense first that the light from deep within your being is shining on you continuously as you live and as you breathe and as you move about, whatever you want to do. You got first sense that as best you can, then do whatever you feel like doing. We're going to sense the first level of Leela with the light. And by the way, this is the way some people live their whole lives. In yoga, some people do this as their main practice. They just strive to be conscious of the light shining on them all day long, day in, day out, year in, year out. And they become tremendously conscious, tremendously enlightened. So this alone is great and glorious. So you got 5 minutes to play with it. Sense the light of the soul shining on you, imbuing you with awareness, and continuously shining. And then, I don't know, talk to friends or write in your book or whatever would come to mind. But the goal is to strive to be aware of that light that is shining on you during those 5 minutes. Go ahead and play, whatever you want to do. theme, you just look all kind of boosted by the light. There's kind of a ethereal quality about your conduct. Just kind of there seems to be more light moving, free to move. Light is a fascinating theme. Like, I just love to look at objects that light passes through. I love to play with the light. It's just so spiritual. Just everything seems to have its own way of dealing with the light. Here's a paper clip. It's just playing with the light in the most elegant way. Amazing the way to catch and shape light. Well, that would be fabulous. But as you mature in that, and it's best to be in it a long time to get used to it, that just an awareness of the soul and its gift of light and consciousness. But what happens is you grow and develop into a very high light play. You're an individual light playing with the infinite light. That's the real Leela, really. When you are as an individual aspect of light, having an independence, having a distinct consciousness, but knowing yourself as light, interplaying with others whom you know to be light. Maybe they don't know it, but you are light, interplaying with others, and interplaying with the infinite light, and going through life and merging in this infinite light at times in samadhi or deep love, just getting lost in love, re-emerging. So it's kind of like a dance of beings of light. The human race is like a dance of beings of light. Those who know the light. And the infinite light is going on, and there is this relationship, this really loving relationship between the infinite light and the individual light. Some of the characteristics: interplaying, delighting one another, embracing one another, dancing with one another, merging with one another, separating, but for having merged, when you separate, there's this higher awareness. And then there's this dance again, and then coming together, and then even higher awareness. Now, how are we going to play this one? How are we going to model that one? But anyway, that's the real Leela, when you're aware of light. What happens when Kundalini, spiritual energy, goes all the way up your spine? You're just aware of light everywhere. Light, light, light. Love too, but lots of light. So I'm at a loss to know what to ask you to do to play with this, but this is the real light play. This is the real Leela. Not only is light shining on you, but light play is developed to the point your life is revealed as a light. So there's an individual light playing with the infinite light, interplaying, delighting, embracing, dancing, merging, separating. Sri Ramakrishna says this beautiful line in the Gospel of Ramakrishna: God performs all his Leela, all his divine play, with the help of Yoga Maya, which means built of the divine Shakti. So there's the whole play of consciousness that we call this universe and humanity is this play of this Shakti, this divine energy and light. Makes the play possible. This energy and light interplaying. So, today I'd like you to sense the light, play in the light, either first level, with it shining on you, or second level, sensing that you are light, playing with light, interplaying with light. Great joy and bliss and love come as a consequence of knowing the light aspect. It becomes easier to know love, it becomes natural to know bliss. So what we're going to do is sense this. Are there any questions, comments? Yes.
I find that it's much easier to do and to stay in it with positive things. Negative things, conflicts and whatnot, there's a tendency to start to shut it down and for there to be tension in the area and in my body. And I know I do this in real life in a big way. How can I get to the point very quickly, preferably, to where I don't do that, where the light continues to shine on those negative areas and the conflicts?
Consciously do the stage light. Consciously feel God's light, like a stage light, is shining on me before and during and after this particular conflict, or before, during, and after my reflections and my considerations of this conflict. Just think more of the light first, get the light in your awareness, and then go through the different levels of it. You want light to shine in the areas of darkness and pain. You want to, with practice, it's normal to withhold and block and ignore, but what you want to get as a result of just taking your time and being patient and loving yourself and loving what life is, just go back to putting on the light and run through this little play with the light on, with the light shining on, and see what it's about. See what to do about it, see how to let more light into it, how to let more light into you, how to let more light shine. What's a guru? He's just basically a light. Just help people find light, helps them light up. The idea of darshan is just when you're in the guru's presence, God's light will just bless you and help awaken you. Just a light principle there. So it's a normal thing to recoil from conflict and pain, but while that's normal, try to let the light shine on it and let the light help you. Why am I afraid? Let's put the light on the fear. Why am I angry? Let's put light on the anger. Shine on. Live in the light. Any other questions or points? Yes.
I have an awareness of the light. What about, what would you do with feelings of the light? Like I sense feelings of it.
Then the feelings will become ecstasy. If you can feel the light, you just keep feeling the light and you'll get really wonderful, wonderful feelings. Because if light gets to play with your emotions, you get ecstasy and love. So just let it develop, as long as you're comfortable, as long as you don't feel your nerves beginning to get jangled. Because there can be so much light that the nerves get a little tired, fatigued. But if you could just feel that light is moving in your feelings, and your feelings are moving nicely in your nerves, and they're not getting hyper, then you'll begin to have ecstasy. Yes, dear.
This is beautiful chant here.
Beautiful chant. Which one is it?
What lightning flash glimmer in thy face?
What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, Mother?
Seeing the arms real through and through.
Seeing the I'm still through and through. It's a beautiful chant. Maybe we can do that tonight. Can we do that tonight? Okay. That said, let's think of light during this noon prayer. Just consider what light could do. I mean, we talk about prejudice. That's people just feel against the light. They're not going to let light in. They're not going to let other possibilities of getting along, and working together of a new world. No, they're against that, and they're just, and there's just so much prejudice in the world. They're just so much, no, he hurt my family, I'm going to hurt his family, or I'm not going to see him survive, I'm going to see him wiped out. All these vengeful ideas. Lack of light. Fear blocks the light. Anger blocks the light. Just so many ways to block the light. For a while, only for a while, because the light just keeps on shining. You just can't turn this light out. So, as we think of our world, which is so troubled and confused, and people feel so separate from one another, they do such cruel things to one another. Let's just think of light shining, blessing, healing, revealing, clearing. Okay? So it's kind of like a Leela kind of prayer today. Beloved Lord, bless us to love one another, person to person, nation to nation, race to race, religion to religion, sect to sect throughout all humanity. Bless us to live in the light. Let's chant Om once with a feeling of love and light going out to all humanity. Inhale. Yeah. So enjoy the light. Live in the light. Let the light shine. Encourage it to shine, especially in areas that are hurting or blocking. Live in the light. Try to see light as a play with the light, because it is. Okay, folks. Hope you've had a good time with the light, because the light loves you. And the light is actually the nature of your soul. Light is the nature of your soul. Consciousness, awareness, light. Have a ball. We conclude.